Coming up on Mountain News this morning, one Kentucky woman prepares to learn her sentence after pleading guilty to a murder charge. And crews over in Nelson County continue the search for Crystal Rogers at a farm owned by the family of the man she once dated.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning to you, 5:31 here on this Friday morning. I'm Dakota Makris. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's head over to Cameron Aaron for a look at our chilly forecast this morning. And see, Cameron, I still don't believe that it's a smidge warmer than what it was yesterday.
Well, it is. It's a little bit warmer this morning than we were yesterday morning, and that trend is going to continue for the next few days, especially into this weekend. We're talking highs in the 70s, lows in the 40s. Going to feel very nice as we get into the weekend. This morning, though, it is still chilly over at Buffalo Mountain. Current temperature just above freezing at 34 degrees under a clear sky this morning, and temperatures across the region in the middle 30s to lower 40s to upper 20s, kind of all over the place this morning. 29 in Manchester, 31 for London, 36 in Somerset, and 42 over in Jackson. We are quiet on radar this morning, and that quiet weather is going to continue for this afternoon. We stay dry under plenty of sunshine. Temperatures topping out in the middle to upper 60s. Very nice as we get into the afternoon. And like I said, we get even warmer by this weekend. I have that full forecast in just a little bit. Dakota?
All right, Cameron, thank you. The family of a UK student who died last year is trying to change Kentucky hazing laws. They say their son's death could have been prevented, and they're hoping to prevent any more. Samantha Valentino has more details on what they're calling for.
Hazing is out of control throughout this country.
Tracy Hazelwood says that for her son Thomas, known to friends as Lofton, the hazing process began the day he received his bid card for the farmhouse fraternity.
On October the 18th, 2021, 5 weeks into pledging, Lofton passed away.
At 4 o'clock that afternoon, Tracy says Lofton arrived at farmhouse sober, ready to participate in a tradition of serenading the sororities on campus. By 4:50, he had about 18 pours of alcohol.
He was so intoxicated that he could barely walk, and they ended up practically carrying him to a bedroom at the house. They laid him on a bed and took Snapchat pictures of him while they messed with his arms and his body.
Lofton was later found unresponsive. The coroner says he died from alcohol toxicity. Just over a year later, Thursday morning, Representative Jonathan Dixon and Senator Robbie Mills introduced an anti-hazing bill named after Lofton alongside his parents.
We believe that the activity of hazing is not something that we should turn a blind eye to, because it can lead to death, injury, and destruction of Kentucky families and friends.
Loftons Law would make hazing resulting in serious physical injury or death a Class D felony, and reckless participation in hazing a Class A misdemeanor.
I think if this went into effect, it would really, they could get in a lot of trouble for this, and it would change a lot of lives, and it would change the aspect around the Greek organizations.
Lofton's parents want other parents to educate themselves on hazing as well.
Parents need to get involved too to check the fraternities out or sororities.
We didn't think of doing that.
You need to just go ask questions, be there, talk to the house mother, house dad, whoever. Find out their policies, talk with them. Be aware of everything. We didn't know. We had no clue.
In Frankfort, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
No charges were filed in Hazelwood's death, and investigations found no evidence of physical coercion or forced drinking. However, UK officials say the reviews found farmhouse chapter members practice hazing throughout the semester. A woman pleaded guilty in a deadly dog attack in Rockcastle County. Melissa Wolk pleaded guilty to murder Friday in 2020 before the COVID pandemic started. Her pit bull attacked 55-year-old Donald Abner. They say they were at a home on US 25. Neighbors at the time told police they saw Wolk on top of Abner, assaulting him and encouraging the dog to attack him. Wolk was drunk when this happened. As part of her plea, prosecutors recommended she serve 20 years in prison. She will be sentenced November 7th. The search continued yesterday at a Nelson County farm for Crystal Rogers. She's been missing since July 3rd, 2015. The FBI has been at the farm on Pascal Ballard Road for several days. The farm is owned by a family member of Brooks Houck, who is considered the main suspect in her death. Former Kentucky Court of Appeals Judge Tom Emberton died Thursday in a tragic house fire. Condolences are pouring in from various political leaders in the Commonwealth, including Senator Mitch McConnell. Senator McConnell talked about what kind of person Emerton was, saying, quote, "He was a friend to many and always a champion of South Central Kentucky. His wisdom, kindness, and always sage advice was an encouragement to all. As a relative of Henry Clay, his ability to mediate and compromise came naturally, and a tribute that would serve our community well at this time," end quote. A popular restaurant in Floyd County is left in ruin after a massive early morning fire Thursday. The City of Martin Fire Department received a call around 4:44 yesterday morning regarding the fire at Fat Boys Grill and Tavern. There's still a heavy smoke from the building that is expected to last a few days. One of the lieutenants with the Martin Fire Department says crews had to call in some help from around the area to put out the flames.
When we arrived, we had extensive fire in the back part of the structure, and we had to request mutual aid from Maytown, Garrett, and Allen Fire Departments for water and personnel.
Officials say the cause of the fire is still unknown and it is under investigation. We'll hope to keep you updated as we learn more. A Laurel County school bus was involved in a crash Thursday morning. Officials with the London Laurel Rescue Squad were called out to American Greeting Card Road a little after 8:30. No students were on board the bus at the time of the crash. Officials say the driver of the truck involved in the crash was taken to a hospital in a different car, and the bus driver was not taken to a hospital. Well, there was a debate at the state capitol over gas prices yesterday. Senate Republicans say if Governor Andy Beshear would change course on energy policies, Kentuckians would benefit with lower prices at the pump and possibly elsewhere. The governor disagrees and says Republicans are just playing the political card close to the election. Our Phil Pendleton has more on what both sides are saying on if state government could help ease the pain at the pump.
Gas prices are lower than just a few months ago, but drivers remember how prices changed their behavior.
Wasn't filling the tank that often. Didn't travel that much just to work and back home.
To hold the governor's feet to the fire.
Senate Republicans today said that pain will return, pointing to expensive gas and groceries.
Fuel in your tank and food on your table is going to continue to increase.
Senate Republicans claim Governor Beshear, who's close to President Biden, could reverse course on green energy policies.
That's what we're asking this administration to open up the spigots here in the state of Kentucky and demand of the Biden administration, for whom they claim they have a great relationship, to change their domestic policies.
Listen, what's happening is it's the middle of October and there's an election coming up and people are engaged in the silly stuff.
The Republicans' briefing came after Senator Brandon Smith called on the governor to ease up on cabinet restrictions he says is stifling people in his district of Eastern Kentucky.
I've had men and women tell me they can't go back and work at their company because their permit is stuck in Frankfort.
Just yesterday, I received a letter from Senator Smith that didn't make a lot of sense and seemed pretty political.
Beshear also says he pushed for lower sales taxes and worked with the General Assembly to freeze vehicle tax hikes. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Bluegrass AAA released a report earlier this week stating gas prices are trending down now and are lower in Kentucky than some other states. Well, if you are an Eastern Kentucky University graduate and 35 years or older, well, there's a good chance you have either heard of or visited the Family Dog. The bar has been closed for 22 years, but now for one night only. Tonight, the iconic dog will be open for EKU's homecoming festivities. The bar was open for 26 years. Morgan Varney's mother, Jean Robinson, is the co-owner of the Family Dog. Robinson and her husband opened the bar, restaurant, and club in 1974.
It's going to be a big blast from the past when people get to come back in here. That's what I'm most excited about.
Well, she says the bar was closed so they could take care of family, but it will reopen its doors from 7 to 10 o'clock tonight. Water Street, which runs next to the bar, will be blocked off during that time for EKU homecoming festivities. Well, just ahead this morning, fans of the coal miner's daughter will soon get the chance to say their final goodbyes during a special service honoring her memory.
Plus, temperatures continue to warm into this weekend. I have all those details coming up.